Hello and welcome to the video for web design for Tuesday, September 29th. I'm going to go ahead and open up the waiting room. Hello.
Hi.
How are you two today?
Good. Good.
Did you have a nice weekend?
Yeah. That I did.
Yeah. Did you do anything?
Pretty sure I did something. I remember it.
We're just not sure what. Maybe
Not, nothing memorable.
it was so much fun it just blocked everything out of your mind.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people that can't remember what he had for dinner last night sometimes, you know. If somebody asks me what I did my weekend, I'm like, I don't know. But you assume you had fun because you weren't working or whatever. Yeah. So, well, let me go ahead and put you guys into the attendance while we're waiting for Alex here. So let's see, pima.edu. Okay. Please teach attendance tracking. All right, web design. And then we got you guys. Okay. All right. I think I got you. And then let me see if we have any Alex. No Alex yet. Okay. Um, have you guys had a chance to do anything new to your websites?
A little bit.
Okay. Should we check it out?
Well, I'm stuck at a few places with this WordPress / Elementor.
Okay.
I'm even wondering if it wouldn't be easier to just design it from scratch with the HTML and the CSS we are learning, but I'm not sure. Maybe you can help me out.
Okay. pimawebcc.com/Stephanie. Is that where it is?
Um, yeah.
Okay.
I'm just loading my questions here. Okay.
Yeah, let me see if I can get there. Mm, let's see. Maybe I have something wrong in the URL.
Okay,
Oh,
let me send it to you.
I think is it Pima CC Web? Is that what it is?
No. There's no Pima in there actually. I
Oh,
don't know. But,
what is your exact URL again?
I'm typing it in there.
Oh,
Okay.
typing it in the chat or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's it. All right, so you're billing it on your site. That's what I was wondering. Okay. Um, okay, so here we are. So,
I have a few, like, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4 questions. So one of them is, let me see. So yeah, one of them is obviously that dark bar under there, which I don't see when I'm editing, and it's not accessible to me.
oh, this little bar right here. This
No,
line.
no, no, no. I want that in, but below the dark bar.
Oh, the dark bar. Oh, is that your footer probably? That's probably your
Huh?
footer. Yeah. And what
Yeah.
happens?
Oh,
Go ahead.
How can I get rid of it then?
Well, let's see. Let me see what I can do here. So now,
Or just make it the same color like the rest?
okay. So have we talked about the web developer tools yet? The ones that you can open up in your browser?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
Bernadette says yes.
Yes.
well, I'll just remind you. So you can do these in almost any browser. It's just a little different how you get to them. I'm in Firefox right now, so I
Yeah.
click on these three lines, and then I go Web Developer, and then I go to Toggle Tools, and it opens up an interface that lets me scan this page and see both the HTML and the CSS for it. Right now, what I do is I click on this little toggle button here, and as I roll over different areas, it gives me, the code for them. So
Mm-hmm.
this is how I can try to figure out what the heck this is. So if I click on this,
Mm-hmm.
it shows me this code over here that says background color black, right?
Yeah.
Now this is just a tester here. I can test things, it won't permanently change it, but if I change it to white, um,
Mm-hmm.
let's see, then that shows that it worked, right? So
Uh-huh.
so this is the code that we need to change, and of course we need to use your actual background color, right?
Yeah.
Um, so what we can do is um, we can highlight this entire block of code here
Yeah.
and copy it, or you can do copy rule, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what we do is we log into your website here. Um, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on, let's see, I'm going to click on customize. And then in customize, I'm going to scroll down to additional CSS. And this is where you can put in CSS code that will affect your website.
Where is additional CSS? I don't see it. Oh, okay.
Did you find it?
Well, yeah, because I'm trying to take notes at the same time, so it's hard to look at everything at the same time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, so you click on additional CSS, there's this box in here, and you can paste this in. And the second that you hit publish, it will now change the background of your that block to white. Now, of course, we don't want it to be white. So what I got to do now is click on this toggle tools thing again and try to scroll over your web page and see if I can find the actual background color, that sort of purpley color. I see a bunch of colors in here, but none.
Yeah, it's the one I think that says number 3E4053.
It's this one?
I believe so.
Okay,
Try it.
yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that. Yep, you're right. So now all I have to do is hit publish,
Uh-huh.
and now that page should be looking the way you want it to.
Okay. So how did you get to additional CSS again? What was the first thing to open this up?
So what you have to do is click on customize.
Oh, customize. Okay.
Hi, Alex. How are you doing?
Pretty good. How about you?
Good, thanks. Did you have a good weekend?
Yep.
Anything noteworthy?
Nope.
Okay. That's perfectly valid. You had the same weekend as all of us. Maybe we all got on a train somewhere and had the exact same weekend, and then they gave us a secret formula that made us forget. I'm hoping it was something like that, because otherwise I had a dead boring weekend. Okay, so what is your next question, Stephanie?
Okay. The next question is, if you stay on this side, you see the blue or turquoise line that I put there,
Yeah?
and then there's a lot of space between the text above and below. I don't want there to be so much space, but I couldn't find where the space was.
Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is click Edit with Elementor and see if that, okay, so the line is right here, right? Okay, now what you can do is you can click on this section,
Mm-hmm.
and then what you have to do is you have to go over here to what's called the Advanced tab.
Mm-hmm.
In the Advanced tab, you have this thing called Margin. And
Yeah.
margin creates space around your div. So right now the margin, there's no margin settings in this. But if you wanted this line to move closer to the top, you could put in a negative margin setting, which would move it up. So let
Yeah,
me,
I tried that with a negative padding, but it didn't work.
well, okay, so here's the trick. Padding, like, okay, divs are represented by a rectangle, right? So these are all divs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Padding only works inside of a div. Padding only makes more space
Oh,
around
I see. Okay.
content in a div. Margin works outside of a div.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So what I'm going to do is for this line right here, I'm going to I'm going to click on the chain link to turn it off. Because when the chain link is on, any margin setting that you make in here affects all four sides of the div, right? Notice there's top, right, bottom, and left. So you can change the padding on all four sides, right?
Yeah.
Uh, so what I'm going to do is for this line right here, I'm going to go to the top and I'm going to start, I'm going to click on the down arrow to go into the negative numbers. Watch this box here. It should start moving up as I start taking this down. See how it's moving up?
Yeah.
Okay. Now another thing that I noticed, if I click on this, I notice there's a lot of space.
Yeah, I could be there too, but yeah.
Yeah. So I wonder what we could do here. Like, I wonder if we set the padding to be 0 on this one, uh, we could also set the margin on the bottom of this one to be a negative number. So the bottom margin, let's see if we go negative, see how it's closing up this box and bringing the line up higher?
Yeah.
Okay. So now we've done a couple of different things to, we made this one go up higher and we did a negative margin on the bottom of that. We could probably do a negative margin on the bottom of this line too,
Yeah.
to make that smaller and to bring the bottom thing up a little higher. And of course, we can click on this one as well
Mm-hmm.
and do the exact same trick. I see you got your padding in there.
Oh, that's where I just played around with it.
Do you want me to get rid of this?
Yeah, yeah. It didn't do anything.
Yeah, so we'll just change it to 0. But if
Yeah.
we go up here, we could take the bottom margin and, oh, let's see, the top margin and make it negative and then bring that up. Now, if we want them to be the same distance from each other, you're just going to have to eyeball it,
Yeah.
Now,
Okay.
when I hit update, it's going to change it. And then if you refresh your page on your end, you should see what the change looks like.
Okay, let me refresh. Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's better.
Okay. And as far as your earlier question about whether it would be easier to work with, just code it with HTML, in some ways it's easier to code a page with HTML because then the code is exactly what you wrote and you know where everything is. But in other ways, there's so much functionality that's added by using things like WordPress and Elementor that you'd be hard pressed to do all of that coding in a short amount of time. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of like six of one, half a dozen of the other. There's pros and cons to each approach.
Yeah. Okay. And then I have, I think, two more pages. Two more questions.
Okay.
So the next question is actually when you go into the dashboard and to pages.
Okay, so exit the dashboard, pages.
So you see all the pages that are in there. Not all of them are on my page. I mean, on my website. So I don't know if some of them can be deleted. and you know which are the ones.
Okay, so well, anything that is in draft mode, see the word draft here,
Yeah.
is not showing up on your website. Uh, when you put a page into a draft, it means it
Uh-huh.
doesn't show up. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, Now things like this sample page, this comes with WordPress, and you could easily delete this. Um,
Yeah.
you
But
could,
even my like new home, we did that like a couple of weeks ago.
yeah. I'm sorry about that. We were messing with that. So the question is like, which one of these is the actual one?
Yeah, because I want to remove the ones that aren't actually
Okay.
active.
Well,
Because then when I want to edit something on them, then I'm not editing on pages that aren't even active. It's just
okay.
confusing to have this
Okay.
in there.
This your home page always says front page on it.
Yeah,
So this page is your actual web page.
yeah.
Now, what you can do um, with these other ones, if you want to like hide, basically get all these other ones out of commission very quickly, you can hover over the name of a page, and then you can click Quick Edit.
Hmm.
And under Quick Edit, you can go down here to Status and just put in the word Draft and hit Update. And what happens is it basically just makes sure that that page isn't showing up. Now, if you're relatively certain that that you don't want this page at all, then you can just hit the trash button.
Well, but I don't know. I don't know now which one is the real one.
Okay, well, let's see. Okay, this is what this is what the page called Home looks like. Is that the real one? Or is it the one we were just working on?
Oh no, that's the real one for home. We were working on the tab for publications.
Okay, so this is your real homepage, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, is it okay if I trash these other ones called New Home and New Home?
Yeah. But what were they for? Why
Oh,
did you bring
that
them?
was last week. I was just using them to demo stuff to you.
Yeah. But I thought there was something better about one of them, which is
Well, let's look. So we'll go over New Home and we'll hit View. Is there anything better about that one?
oh, I think it had to do with the those menu bars on top. I don't see any difference.
Okay, well, if you don't see any difference, then we're probably safe to trash this one. Now, by the way, when you trash a page, watch what happens. See up here it says published and draft.
Uh-huh.
So if we trash a page, it actually it goes up here into the trash,
Oh, okay.
and you can restore it if you want.
Yeah.
Okay, and so I'll look at this one too, the New Home. I don't see any difference there. So I'm gonna
Yeah. I mean, there must have been a reason that we did those.
uh,
And I don't know why it's not visible from the page which one is which.
yeah, I would say in a case like this, let's just throw those in the trash and have you work on your home page. And if you come across something and you think, oh, maybe that's what we did better on the other page, if you want to view one of these pages in the trash, you can just click on trash, and then you can click
Okay.
restore, and you can view it again.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I don't. Now I would probably trash the sample page. Um, I remember us.
And then we have like two publications, they look identical. It's not even
Right.
too
So
much.
what I would do is I would trash one. I would trash this. Let me just trash the ones I think you don't need, and then we can go from there. So let's see.
I think about, I don't even have any about. You can trash that.
Which one?
About.
Okay. Any others?
I don't have contact either. But it could be that, something else was saved under what was originally contact from the original page that I changed.
I think I just made those pages just as examples, because I always make like about and contact pages for websites. So does this look more like the way your site should look?
Yeah, I don't need the privacy policy. But see, now that the teaching is missing.
Teaching is missing?
Yeah, but there is none that's called like that.
There's nothing called teaching, but you made one?
Yeah, on my page there's a tab Home Research Publications Teaching Consulting and Visuals. So now there's Home Research. Now publications is missing and teaching is missing.
Okay, well, so we can go to
And
your,
publications is the site I just worked on that you showed me with the bars. I mean the stripes that go through.
well, let's go to your menu. So we go under appearance menus. Okay, so see, okay, so this is a problem. Two of these, we trashed two of these, right?
Yeah.
So one of them was the teaching page, but it didn't say teaching on it. So let's go back to the pages and bring a couple of those back and see if we can figure out which ones they are. So we'll go to trash. We'll restore this one called publications.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll go back to the menu. Okay, so it's not that one. So this one, I'll leave that there because I know which one that is. Let me go back here to the trash and let me open this, let me restore this publications. Okay, and now let's go back to the menu. Okay, so that was the real publications page.
Okay.
So, so now here's the tricky part. We got to figure out which one of these is the one that got trashed. Let's see.
I think the real one is the one that was updated later. Actually, I'm not sure because none of them says updated today, but I worked on them today.
All right, well, I can try one more time. Let's see. We know it's not this one. So let's go look again in menus. Yeah. Oh, no. I trashed the wrong one. Okay. Wow, it's really tough. Let's see. So it's not this one, it's the other one. So, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Not. Okay. Update. All right, so this one I'm going to trash. And then the one that's called publications, which is an Elementor page. And I can't tell until I get it back over there which one's Elementor. Okay, and then I'm going to trash this one. Okay, so now I believe we have your real publications page, and that'll be borne out by the menu. Ah, what the hell? Okay, it says this one is invalid and this one is invalid. Oh,
Yeah, that's
I
why
see.
I'm finding this confusing.
Oh no, wait, hold on. I figured this out. So I'm going to remove this one and remove this one. Okay. All right, so your actual publications page is in there. It's in the menu and it's also in here. Now, I apologize for some of this confusion because it's due to the fact that we were messing around in here and trying to fix things up. Now, one of these pages is your teaching page. And we have to try and figure it out. So we'll restore the one that's called sample page.
No, it's not. I don't think it's sample. I think it's contact maybe.
Oh, okay, great. So we'll restore.
Maybe because I was using things that were already there.
Okay, so we'll go down here to menu. Yep, you're correct. That was it. So what we'll do is we'll go to the pages. Oh. And
So
we
can I rename them so that the contact is actually named teaching? Yeah.
okay.
Okay, so now they're only in the wrong order. But,
Okay, what order do you want them in?
well, can you go to publications again? Because I don't see what we just did there. This is not the right one. See, I have it still on my screen because I haven't refreshed yet. So the publications is the one that says journal articles, books, book chapters, and so on, and is the one that we just looked at before.
Okay, so I'll bring back your other publications page. Um, is that it?
Yes.
Okay, great. So what we're going to do is we're going to trash this one. We're going to rename this one. Well, actually, I'm going to leave this one exactly what it's called just to make it easier for me to bring it into the menu. Okay, well, it was in there already. Okay. I'm going to remove this one. Now I'm going to go rename the actual publications page. Publications update. Okay. Right?
Okay.
Now, what order do you want these in?
Actually, I can leave it for now. I'll play around with the order.
Okay, you'll play around with it. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions from you?
I think there was one last one. Let me see.
Okay, let me just close my blinds here so that there's not so much sun on me.
Yeah. So the reason why I noticed that all of these pages are there that are duplicates was I was trying to customize the colors of those menu navigation labels because I didn't want to have them white and red. I wanted to have them my colors, and I wasn't able to access them.
What was that? You wanted them to what?
I wanted to customize the colors of these tabs like home, research, teaching, and so on, because I don't want them red, the red that's left over from the old page.
Oh, okay.
In my color palette. And then, so that's why I went to that page where I saw that there are so many different pages.
Okay, well, let me show you where you can change the colors.
Because I couldn't change them in Elementor. I couldn't access this.
Right, so one of the things about WordPress, especially when you use it in conjunction with Elementor, is there's a bunch of different places you have to go to change things, right? And you just kind of have to, you figure out by like kind of poking around where those places are.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for when it comes to changing font colors and stuff, I believe that's under Customize. And what you're going to see down here are, you know, and I have to search around too to see exactly where it is, but I would assume it's under Global, and then Colors, and then Base Colors, right?
Yeah, so I already have my colors in there, but
Right.
I don't know.
But it's not changing the rollover colors. Okay, so let's do this. Another way we can do this is just with that custom CSS thing. So let me show you how that works. So we'll go ahead and go open up the Web Developer Tools. We'll roll over this. Let's see. I'm looking for the rollover thing. I'm looking for that little red color. There it is. Okay, so I clicked on this one, which is already the red color, and you can see this color right here is red, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I copy this rule, let me see. Somehow I made it small. I didn't intend to do that. Let me go ahead and copy this. I'm going to highlight this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you can either do copy or copy rule. I'm going to do copy.
What does copy rule mean?
It should mean the same thing. Let's try it. copy rule. Copy rule and selector should be the same thing. But let's see. Let's do copy rule and see if we get the whole thing. So we've got your existing code in there, which we don't want to mess with. So we go down below it and we paste in the new code. And even though it's a lot of code, you need all that code to account for everything. Now, the only thing we need to change is what color you want the rollover to be. So like, I'll just put in black right now.
Mhm.
And you can see that it turned to black. Um,
Okay.
so what color would you like it to be?
I have to look it up. One of my colors that I saved.
Okay, I'm going to go back to your
You
colors.
could make it like that bar, like that divider.
It's probably one of these colors, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like for example that link color.
This one right here?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to copy that. Go back to my CSS and then paste that in here. And then publish that. And then now that's your rollover color.
Oh, I see. Okay. Looks good, yeah. I don't know if I will go with this color, but for now it's fine. At
Okay.
least I know where to find it. Okay, that was my last question.
Okay, good. But you're making progress. It looks good. And once again, my apologies for all the confusion there. Um, okay, Bernadette, have you got any work that you've done on your site?
Yeah, it's just the homepage for right now. I'm just trying to figure out like the style, I guess. Just trying to figure everything out before I do the other pages.
Okay. Wait, didn't I name yours like B3 or something like that?
Um, Gosh, I had the paper.
No, no, that's
B2, I think.
B2.
Yeah, B2.
B2?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
The little nav navigator, the menu, I tried to change the color, but I didn't want to change the entire text color because my other text color is black for everything else. So I don't know if that would have changed it to white, if that makes sense.
You mean like if we go on another page, it's black everywhere else?
Yeah.
I think maybe you should change it to white so you
Yeah.
can see it on every page. So I think it would be the same thing as what we just did.
Like I changed the colors and the appearance, like the menu thing, but I was just afraid that I would change all my text color, like all my paragraphs, to white.
No, I don't think it's going to do that. This is if you look down here in this code, it says main header menu menu item hover. So this is just affecting this stuff.
Yeah.
So let's see. Uh, okay, so once again, we're going to go under appearance and then customize. We may have to change two things. We may have to change the rollover color and the base font color in your header there. So I'm just going to paste this in, and this little color here is the brown color, so I'm just going to change that to white. Now, you see, it's what I said. It basically the color I just changed is what's called a rollover color, right? Now you might want that to be a different color. I'm just for the sake of argument right now, I'm going to change this to yellow, just so we can see it. Okay.
Mhm.
Now we still need to change this base color to white, right? And you just want to change the color of your menu, not all your fonts and everything.
Yeah.
So once again, so now we'll click here, and yeah, the problem is when you roll over this and you click on it, it shows you the code for the rollover color because we're rolling over it. So the trick is to find out where it is that it actually sets the color of the header here without rolling over it. And that's tricky because how do you do that without rolling over it? We're actually rolling over it right now.
Could you just do it in the appearance area in WordPress?
The appearance area in WordPress, what does that mean?
Yeah, like just in appearance. You don't have to worry about the whole web developer area.
When you say appearance, what part of WordPress are you talking about?
So
Talking
like
about
here,
customize?
you go to global,
Right,
and
okay, right.
yeah, that's what I was thinking, like you could do it there.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I think you're probably right. So let's try it. So we'll go to, oh, I'm sorry. Appearance. Yeah. I was like,
Sorry.
I was like, appearance. I've never heard that word before in my life. What are you talking about? Sorry. Okay. So we'll go global. We'll go colors, base colors.
So where it says text color, would that be, would
No,
I have to put
well,
that?
I think it would be this link color here.
Okay.
If we
But
change,
it's not in this color
uh,
because the link color was brown, but the links are kind of, they look like the color below the link color.
all right, let me back out of this without saving it and see if it'll reset. Oh no, it didn't reset.
The original links, they look like what is called hover color here.
Okay, I'll just make this link color orange for now. But let's see. So you were talking about, so there's theme color, text color. Well, this okay, let's try this. White. Oh yeah, you're right.
Oh, okay. So it was, but would it affect like my regular paragraphs and everything?
Yes, it would.
Okay.
So that's problematic because you want your regular paragraphs to be black, I assume, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what that means is, okay, now they're black. Um, Here we gotta publish this just so that stays that way. That means we do in fact have to find out what the actual code is. And I have an idea which we might be able to try.
Or could
Uh,
I just shrink my picture down? Because I think I've seen where you could kind of move it down and just have like a
yeah,
white
that's
bar.
also a good idea. Let me try one thing here. You see how this is called main header menu dot menu item hover? Uh, and this, let's see. Oh no, it's not really doing anything. Okay. Um, let's see. I like your idea. Let's see if we can pull the picture down some. So if we go into Elementor view of your website, so if we click Edit with Elementor, I'm going to close down this toggle tools. Okay, if we right click on this area and click, well, let's see. Well, this whole thing here is a section, and so we should be able to edit that just like we did the line on Stephanie's page. So if we uncheck this toggle and we say that we want the top to have a positive margin on it, it will move it down below all that good stuff, right?
Yeah.
So now, I mean, of course, the effect of that is that you're going to have to change that, but now this is easy to see, right?
Yeah.
And all your text is black, so you're a happy camper. Now, what color do you think you want this rollover to be?
Probably that brown color that I had.
Okay,
You want me to give you the,
yeah, I would love you to give me that.
I'll send it in chat. I
Okay,
don't know if it'll be too light though.
uh,
Let me see.
I think that's it right there. Do you see it? Is that too light?
No, I could see it.
Okay, all right, so put it in the chat. Okay, now don't forget, you guys, whenever you use a color, you have to use a pound sign in front of it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I got.
actually, your color was a little darker than what we saw.
Could
Okay,
we also make this bold at the same time with changing a color?
you can make it bold. So what you can do is you say font dash weight and you say bold. And now see what this did though was this particular one is just it's just affecting the first one, right?
Yeah, that's what I meant. I mean, I meant the one that's selected.
You like that being bold?
Well, it's not my page. I was just wondering.
I'm just saying, I'm just asking your opinion. You like it being bold?
I like it because then in addition to the color, it also comes out stronger as, yeah, I don't know.
Okay, yeah, and when you roll over it, it
Yeah.
gets big. Yeah, so uh, that's how it looks right now. Bernadette, do you have a preference, bold or not?
I like bold.
Okay, so we'll leave it. If you ever want to change it, you can just get rid of this line in your custom CSS. See,
Okay.
font weight bold.
Huh?
If you ever want to get rid of it, you just kill this line right here in your custom CSS.
Okay.
Okay. Now, it looks like you have pictures on several pages, so we'd have to move them all down the same amount.
All right.
So let's do that real quick. So we'll go back to here. We'll click Edit with Elementor. You like the amount it is, the amount down it is right now?
I'd probably make it a little more.
Okay.
Again, I could always try it out, but I guess it's easier now.
Okay. Well, let me go down a little more, and I don't know. You tell me when you're okay. Is that good?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so that's 90. And of course, you know where it is, so you can change it. And then we'll go to some of these other pages. We'll go to the About page. Let's see. Exit the dashboard. About. Edit with Elementor. Okay, click on this, advanced, uncheck the link, and just paste in 90 and hit update. And then go to the final page. It used to be that you could click on these pages in Elementor and it would just go to them. All right, this one doesn't have the same thing, so, but you know, if you do end up putting it in there, you can just make it not be 90, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, what other questions have you got?
Okay, so on the images, like I kind of like it to be like the full width of the web page. I don't, it looks like it is, but there's still like a tiny little gap. I don't know if it's that big of a deal, but I tried to figure out how to make it the full width because in some of like the original WordPress theme, or was it Astra? I forgot, but it some of the images that were default were like the full screen.
Okay,
Sense.
so there's a couple things we can try here. One is under image size, we can try going from this 2048 to full. I
Yeah,
didn't, have you tried that?
yeah, I tried all of those, but the best one that worked for me has been the one, yeah, the one right there.
Okay, another thing we can do is, so it says width 100%.
Yeah, I tried fooling around with that one a bit. I don't know if it made any difference.
Well, sometimes there's something called boxed. Um, Sometimes there's something called boxed versus full width, and I don't see that option in here.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I can't find it like off the top of my head.
Well, it might not be, let's see. Um, I'm going to try something here. Let's see, where are we? We're here. So we're going to go here. Okay. Um, so I tried this stretch section, and that didn't seem to work. You may have tried all these too.
Yeah, it's okay the way it is. I was just curious, like, why some of, like, if you go to the about page, it looks like their first image that they have, like, default, it looks like it's reaching the entire screen without having little margins.
Yeah, here's that box thing that we saw. Content with boxed is in here, right? And if you do boxed, it's really going to get small, right? Um, yeah. So we clearly don't want that. I would say it looks to me like it has to do with something like some kind of a padding or margin around this image.
Okay.
Uh,
I haven't tried that yet.
well, because it looked, do you see the little space around the image?
Yeah.
Um, it makes me feel like there's something around it. Let's see. Border radius, nothing, box shadow. See index. Zero, that out. Let's try our friendly web developer tools.
Again, it's just like a little nitpicky thing. I don't think it makes that big of a deal, but
No, I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. But at some point, it will make a big deal, and it'll be really important, and you want to be able to figure out how to edit it, right? Um, Vertical line, middle display, inline block. Yeah, I think that this, whatever it is, it might be several levels deep. It might be that there's some kind of a margin applied to the whole page that we can't find. Yeah, it's not immediately clear.
all right.
So yeah, we don't have to keep searching on it, but I know what you're talking about, and sometimes you would like things to be a little different, and web design is frustrating in that way, in that it's a lot harder to get exactly what you want than it is in graphic design. Yeah. So okay, well we'll leave that one for now, and maybe we'll get lucky at some point and figure out what's going on. Let's see. With 100%. Yeah, nothing's really changing it. Okay, we'll move on to the next thing. So is there something else that you thought about?
Um, I guess kind of like what's supposed to be on like a homepage versus like the about and like other pages, because I know like in a homepage that's the first thing that people see, and I feel like sometimes you could talk about things that would be in the about page, like for instance the part below it would be like the mission statement or whatever. Could that also be in the about page? Or like if you scroll down, I have like location and contact information, and then also like recent sermons. Could that all be linked to another page, or would it only be um, available in a specific page, not in the home. If that all makes sense, it's kind of all.
It makes perfect sense. So in web design, there's something, when we hear the term redundancy, we usually think of that as a bad thing. If something's redundant, it's been repeated unnecessarily, right? But in web design, there's something that I like to call good redundancy. And good redundancy is where you put the same information in more than one place because different people will go to different places to access that information. All right. So that right there is a lot of the answer for you. So, for example, things that would traditionally be on your about page, like, your mission and things like that, could easily be on your front page as well. Because when people come to the front page, they're going to be like, oh, this is Valley Christian Church. They've got a nice image. Oh, right here, here's their mission. That's great. Nobody's gonna nobody's gonna give you an F in web design if when you go to the about page, it also states the mission. Do you know what I mean?
I'm just trying to like give them like a little tidbit of like what's gonna happen, or if they want more information on it, then they go to the about page, or if they want contact information, but there's more information on the actual contact page.
Yeah, you can absolutely do that. You can use your front page almost like a teaser and give people just enough information and then have them link to the appropriate page where there's more detailed information.
Okay, in that case, should I include buttons that says like read more or go to like contact or whatever?
You have a choice as to whether to make it a button or just text that says read more.
Okay.
Like, like if I wanted to edit this text right here, um, like let's say this really was some sort of missiony kind of thing, right? Um, I could I could put like, a dot 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 read more. Um, and then I could highlight this. Oh, wow, I'm sorry, I didn't get
It's in the middle.
the end. There's so much there's so much text in here, I didn't know where I was. All right. All right, so now I can highlight this, I can link it. Um, and hit update.
Okay, so you'd have to like link it to the website, but also put in the page that you're sending it to.
Correct. So, okay, so I got your about page wrong. Your about page is called new dash about, right?
I think
Uh,
so. Yeah.
yeah, it is. Because see, when I'm on the about page, that's what it's called, right? So I have a choice here. I can actually I can change that. I can come in here. This is something you guys should know about. When you look at the regular page here, there's this thing called a permalink here. And a permalink stands for permanent link. And see how down here it says new dash about?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I hit edit, I can change this to just be about. And then if I hit update, now this page really is going to be located at this URL, right? So by changing that link, now the link that I just put on the homepage is correct. Um, so if I click on this now, it should take me to the about page.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And would it be specific to, oh, never mind. It's just because I was gonna think of like where the paragraph would be on that page. Would it matter?
Oh, I see. You want to take them like to a specific paragraph.
Or would it just be okay if they just go to that page? I think
Uh,
it'll be
no,
fine.
no, no. It's good to know how to take people to a specific paragraph, or a specific section of a page. Now, what that is, it's called an anchor tag. So there's two kinds of links. There's a link that will take you to a specific page, but then there's a link that will take you to a specific part of that page, right? Like it'll take you to this page and it'll pull you down to here. You know what I mean? Now, in order for that to work, what you have to do is you have to put an anchor tag, and an anchor tag is two parts. First, you have to put some code in at this point, which gives us an identifiable name. All right? And then when you do your link, you have to link both to this page and to the anchor tag on this page, right? Now let me show you. I'm not sure. Let's see. I'm not sure if anchor tags get messed up in WordPress or not. I know I've done it before. It's been a long time. So let's see. Yeah. So okay. A name equals serious. A range of serious. Let's see. For more details. Okay. So it looks like this is how they're showing you an example of use. On the place where you want to send people to, you would put this code here. It says a name equals serious / a, and then when you link people to that, you would say that the reference is to # serious, right? So let's try this out on your page. Okay, so I'm going to edit this page right here. Okay, so let's say we want to send them down to here. Now, let's see. Okay, so you see what I did here? I put in the anchor tag, a name equals upcoming, and then I put in the upcoming events, and then I put / a. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so now theoretically that makes this an anchor tag called upcoming, right? Now, what that means is when I go back to your home page, if I add # upcoming to the end of the link, let's see, I click on this and it shows me the link, which is going to about, right? If I add # upcoming, then it should both take me to that page and then scroll me down to that section. Unless WordPress has some weird thing that I don't remember. So let's see. Oh, it worked.
Nice.
Okay.
And so if, say, when I'm working on this and I just want them to go to the page, can I just edit that part out, like erase it?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But that's a great question because I don't know about you guys, but like when I hit the back button, when I've been somewhere and I hit the back button and I've been on a long page, if it doesn't take me right back to where I was, I get really mad. You know what I mean? And so now keep in mind, Bernadette, that you can use that between pages, but you can also use it on pages. So like, let's say you had a page that turned out to be pretty long, pretty tall. You could have some stuff up here that would say, read more about our community services. And then that our community services could be an anchor link that links down the page to a paragraph about community services.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, what other questions have you got?
So since I've just been working on the homepage, it's still kind of rough, like the whole style I'm trying to get, but I don't know like what your opinion is about it so far, just stylistically. Well, obviously that logo I have to fix, but
Yeah. Well, I stylistically, I think it's very beautiful. I like the picture. Um, I still wonder about. I love your logo, but I still wonder about the fact that the words Christian Church is that their existing logo, or you made this, right?
Yeah, I made it.
Okay. I worry about the fact that Christian Church is so small that it's
Okay.
hard to read. I wonder if I mean, I almost feel like Christian should be on its own line and it should be much bigger. And then uh, I don't know. I get. Hold on a second. I gotta open up Photoshop so I can show you something.
Yeah. On the size, I actually made it regular, so I'll probably have to make it medium with actual font. I don't know if that makes a difference.
um, of in the logo.
Yeah.
Um, I still think it's kind of small. So let me just. Uh, okay, so we know that Valley is going to be big. Um, I'm just going to hack this just so that you can see, right?
Mhm.
Um, but then I think this thing, let's see, how big is this? This is big. Now, one of the things I was thinking of was um, because church is so much smaller than Christian, and this may not work at all. It's just an idea I had.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. I got to make a new layer here, or it's not going to like me. Uh, let's see.
So you think I should do like a little line thing or
Well, I was trying to put in these little crosses.
oh, okay.
Um, yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, obviously you have your choice. You're a talented graphic designer. You could put more space between the church letters and less space between Christian and see if you can get it to all jive where it all matches up with the same sidelines, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but I just personally feel that uh, the Christian church looks too small and since these guys want to advertise that they're a Christian church, it seems like it's a little small for that purpose.
All right.
So
Yeah, I
maybe,
was a little concerned about that. I'll try to fix it.
yeah, and of course you don't have to use my idea. Just do whatever your instincts tell you will work.
Well,
Uh,
especially since the picture doesn't show a church, somehow it must be obvious that, it must become obvious that the website is about a church.
right,
And
right.
yeah,
With this Christian being so invisibly small, it's not clear that this is about a church, right?
Yeah. Well, of
So
it
course.
could be about forestry or something, since we see
here's another thing that you could put: welcome, and then underneath to Valley Christian Church.
Okay, so I could be redundant in that way because I was thinking of putting the logo again, but I was like, that would be too much.
Well, it's yeah. I mean, yeah. Like I said, good redundancy. So the rules of graphic design don't exactly apply to web design because of things like what we've been talking about. So, yeah, I think Stephanie made a good point. It's something I've been noticing too, which is there needs to be more reinforcers to tell us that this is a church website, and specifically the Valley Christian Church website.
Yeah, I understand that. It's just because I mean, I guess I could go on to like Pexels or whatever and just get like fake people and fake churches. It's just I haven't had a chance to actually take real photos, so I just thought of putting just random stuff in there. But
Yeah, that's
yeah,
fine. I mean, I understand. You have such a good eye that whatever you put up here looks good, Bernadette. Um,
thank you.
you just have to decide. Well, yeah, I guess we're just waiting for this is a placeholder, and we're just waiting for your final picture, right?
Yeah, I'll probably just for the sake of the class, because again, I don't know if this is going to be their actual website, but I could just get some random church building photo and put it in there.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you think works for you. The closer you can get to the final picture, the better off you'll be, because then obviously you can tune everything to that picture.
Yeah.
Okay. What other questions do you have?
I have some more stuff at the bottom. Like with the whole bar with like the contact information, I tried to also make that extend out longer. I guess it shrunk for some reason. I'll have to work with that.
Well, yeah, let me see if it's anything obvious. Uh, yeah, sometimes, I hate to say it, but unfortunately, sometimes they just hide this stuff, and you just don't know where to go, and you have to experiment all over the place to see if you can find it. Um, yeah,
Yeah, it's okay.
okay. It
So
doesn't look bad, by the way, but yeah, I understand your frustration. I mean, like, look at this. Well, even the footer, look at Bernadette, even the footer doesn't go all the way. Oh, yeah, I guess the footer does go all the
yeah,
way.
like in the other pages, the picture went all the way. It's like, how did I tried looking at how they did it, like that picture right
Oh,
there.
right.
I mean, there is a little bit of like cushion in between, but
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, it would take some digging to figure this one out.
yeah,
Now,
it's okay.
another thing that you can do, this is an Astra theme, so you could look at Astra support. So if you go down here to let me see, Astra options, there's this whole thing called the knowledge base. You see this right here? And then there's also so you could go to the knowledge base and you could type in, search around, say, how do I make my picture go 100% width in such and such a theme? You might find somebody else who had the same problem,
Okay.
who solved it, and you might even be able to write these guys and ask them and send them your URL, and they might be able to help you. Like right here, 5-star support. Got a question? Get in touch with Astra developers. We're happy to help. Submit a ticket. Well, look at that. You know,
Yeah.
give it a shot. What do you got to lose?
Okay.
Um, okay, what else?
I think that's basically it. I'll continue working with the style and yeah.
Okay. Well, it's looking very nice. So keep up the good work. So, Alex, how about you? Have you got any progress to report or any questions?
Yeah, so since I was trying to figure out what I was gonna do for a new website since I don't want to use the debt-free one since I already have a store for that.
Yeah.
And so for the After Effects class, we're doing that project about taking a trip to a crazy place. Um, and so for that project, the trip that I'm like creating for the video is a trip to a space hotel. So I figured I'd make the website for this class be the space hotel's website.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Um, so yeah, so I just reset my site, but I'm trying to figure out how I can get Elementor working
Oh, now where are you building your site?
on WordPress still.
Is it the site I gave you, or is it or somewhere else?
No, it's the same one. I just reset it. I installed like the WordPress reset public plugin, so I gotta add you again. But
Okay, okay. Well, that's fine. I want to see if I can go there. Let's see. Um, what's your URL?
here.
Or do you want to just share your screen and show it to us?
I put it in the chat.
Oh,
So that's the theme that I had chose, but I'm still working on it, and I'm not sure if I should use this theme or if I should use Elementor, because I know like those two, like if you use a theme in Elementor, it like messes it up.
what needs to happen is Bernadette needs to steal this theme because the picture's going all the way across. What is this? Is this the same theme?
No, it's let me see. It's called Hotel Imperial or Hotel Loan. It's a hotel theme.
Okay, yeah. All right. So I mean, I don't have any problem with you using this theme, to make your site.
I
Uh,
mean, like I wouldn't even mind just building it from scratch, but I'm not sure if that's an option.
well, when you say building it from scratch, you mean completely code all the HTML yourself?
Mm-hmm.
It, it is if you prefer to go that route. Uh, you know, we're going to focus a lot. Well, we're going to focus pretty much exclusively on WordPress and Elementor and all of that stuff. So we won't be able to talk to you about that, but we'll be able to talk to you about coding.
I'm just unsure because a lot of these themes have limitations. Like you have to buy the pro version of it to do certain things.
Yeah.
So, and even with Elementor, like if you want to do a lot of certain things, you have to purchase the pro version of it. So, I'm just not sure to be honest.
Okay. Well, one thing about Elementor, there is an upgrade. Let me go back to. Let me see if I can get into Bernadette's site again. Um, so if we go down to plugins and we go add new and we go Elementor. Oh yeah. Um, so let's see. So I think it must be this one right here called Happy Add-ons for Elementor. Um,
Mm.
basically what somebody did was they took a lot of the pro version things that you had to pay for Elementor and they just added them in for free. Um, and so yeah, so it says 35 free premium like widgets and more on its way. So uh, this is some of the stuff that they've added in for free to this plugin. So if you want to extend Elementor, you might consider adding that in. Now, I know that doesn't solve your problem. I know you still feel limited by WordPress and by the theme. So it's really up to you, Alex. If you think you get more out of this class by hand coding things, you can do that. You might consider maybe doing a little bit of both. There's no reason why this WordPress site that you have can't just sit there and exist and you can experiment with it and learn things about WordPress. But you could also hand code your own site in a different area if you like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind using WordPress. I'm just having trouble with getting things to work the way I want them to work.
Yeah, well, that is a problem, especially like you said, if you're using the themes that are the light versions.
Hmm.
They pretty much set it up so you have to pay for them to do anything, worth doing, right?
So how should I set it up? Like the most basic setup?
You mean if you went from scratch?
No, through WordPress.
Oh,
Like without using a theme that's gonna limit me. Like
okay.
what
Okay.
should I use?
Okay, I'll tell you. So they have these themes which are called Sandlot themes. Have you heard that term?
No.
Okay, a sandlot when it comes to programming means, or sandbox, I'm sorry, sandbox. A sandbox theme is basically a minimalist theme that has no design attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
So if we went into appearance and we went to themes and we type, let's see, add new, and then we go over here for search and we type in something like sandbox. Oops, I misspelled it. Sandbox. Uh, so like here's one right here. This one's called minimal, and this one basically has you know, it basically has no theming to it. It's just WordPress, and then you can edit it however you want. There's another one that WordPress themselves make, and I forget it's called like S something. Let me see if I can find it real quick. WordPress sandbox theme. WP Sandbox. Okay, there's one called WP Sandbox.
I mean, I don't even mind starting from the Astra theme. I just don't know how to set it up. So it's like not a blog and all that.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you can start from Astra, and then what you can do from there. Okay, I won't look at any of this anymore. Okay, you can go into Astra, and if you want to make it so it's not a blog anymore, you just go down here to Settings, Reading, and instead of showing your latest post, you pick a static page to display on the front.
I have a static page right now. I didn't mean like a blog. I just meant just have it. I don't know because whenever I install Astra, it doesn't install anything. It makes everything look weird and funky.
Oh, well, I mean, you can steer clear of Astra if you want. Uh,
But that's no, it's because that's what you showed us, and it's just not working the way it worked for you.
okay. Oh, it's not working the way it worked for me, and you cleared everything out?
Yeah, so I'm thinking like I might just have to restart it again on SiteGround because I don't know. I just feel like
Okay.
it's messed up.
Would you like me to give you a new SiteGround website?
Sure.
Okay. Um, let me see if I can do that. So, login. Okay. Uh, uh, okay. I'm probably gonna have to send myself a note about that and do it after class, just because I have to track down the password and everything. So I'll say make Alex a new site and send him the info. Okay, I will do that after class. Um, okay, and any other questions you have right now, Alex?
No.
Okay. Um, do you want me to install Astra on that site as well, or do you want to do it yourself?
Yeah, that would be helpful to me.
Okay, I'll do that. All right. Well, let's go over to some of the reading that I asked you guys to do. Um, so I asked you to read from this page to this page. So let's go visit these pages and talk a little bit about the coding here. Now, some things some things exist in HTML code, but don't get used very often, right? Or I should say, don't get used in certain industries very often, right? For example, there's this thing called a citation, which you can use. So let's see, it says, here's a quote from WWF's website, right? And this is something called a block quote. And what it does is it indents the text and makes it its own separate little kind of section there. And to do that, all you have to do is use the word block quote around the text, right? And then you can use the word cite to create the link that it goes to, right? So you're quoting, you're making a quote, and then you are crediting or citing the source of that quote in the code, right? Now, I've never used this in my, long career of doing websites, but you may, or like Stephanie, do you think you'd ever have a use for a block quote like this?
Um, I mean, I think only if I wrote a lot on my web page, because I can't imagine, like, if I have just short descriptions that I would put a long citation in. That's not from me.
Okay.
But I was wondering, I did the try it yourself, and I was wondering where the actual citation was actually visible, because I did not see that there is a link to the page.
It's
So
not it's not visible. It's actually just in the code. And the only way it's basically like a credit that would,
yeah,
like a credit that would appear at the end of the movie or something like that.
yeah, but nobody sees it.
No, no. Well, there is one thing that sees it. The search engines see it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Because otherwise it's like a credit at the end of the movie where it's written in black letters on a black background.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not sure what there must be. Maybe it's just politeness, or maybe it's more than that. Maybe you know how when you use a quote, you're supposed to get permission or at least attribute that to somebody. That's what I
The
think.
point was that everybody could see the credit and where it came from, but in this case, nobody can see it but the search engine.
Well, okay, so the solution to that would be to not use this site and just put it as an actual link out here.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure what I don't use this kind of thing enough to know. I mean, we can research it, but I don't think it matters much. We're not going to use it probably. Now, if you want a short quote, you can just use the Q, and that's going to indent it. Let's see. Browsers, let's see, is to build a feature. Okay, so all that does is really put it in quotes, right? Which is not that big a deal. You can use an abbreviation, which you type in World Health Organization, and you type in WHO, and actually, Stephanie, I thought of one more thing where this will show up: screen readers, people who are visually impaired.
Oh, I see. But
will,
this one does actually show up. I like the abbreviation thing because when you try it and then you just go with your cursor over the WHO, it will tell you, which is convenient.
Yeah, that is cool. Okay. So it didn't do that on this?
I didn't see it. Maybe I overlooked something.
No, you didn't. It doesn't do it. We don't know what that is, and we frankly don't care.
I don't think I have a use for it anyway.
Yeah, we're not going to be up late. Okay, but this is cool. You pointed that out, right? Now this one is a little more useful. The address, because of the way that it will display an address. Okay, because addresses can be kind of problematic to format. But if you write out an address and you put the address around it, it's gonna italicize it and make it easy to read. Now you have to keep in mind that when you want one line to appear exactly on top of another, you have to use this tag called a break tag, BR. You'll notice that any text that you want to have a paragraph space has to have a P around it, begin P and end P. But when you want just one line of spacing, you use the BR tag. It doesn't have a beginning tag. It just gets used at the end there. Okay. All right, so let's see, that was address. We're going to skip site for work and bidirectional overdrive. Let's see. All right, let's move past this page with citations. Okay. All right, now comment tags are actually extremely valuable. Can one of you guys tell me where you might think a comment tag would have a value?
Yeah, just to explain your code and what does, which line is doing what.
Yeah.
And then also comment a line out if you want to test it out, without one line. you just make a comment around it.
Yes, that, and also for other people who end up working on your site, right? Um,
Oh,
because what happens is when people create a website, they think they're the only one that's ever going to work on it, but 2 years later they leave the organization they were working for, and some other poor web designer comes in and has no idea what's going on. If you comment all your code, you're going to get like a love letter from the new web designer, right? They're going to be like, "Thank you so much for telling me what this piece of code did and where I can find something to change that and blah 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 blah." So in order to write a comment, you just you use the angle bracket, exclamation point, and two dashes. Then you put in your text and then dash dash um, angle bracket. So we can try it ourselves. So notice that none of those comments show up. I can put in a brand new comment if I want. Um, so dash dash. Here is another comment, and then dash dash. And then when we hit run, it still doesn't show up, right? Now I use comments all the time, especially in CSS code. The commenting in HTML code is slightly different than CSS. This is what HTML commenting looks like, and CSS commenting is slightly different. But it's really important, and I use it all the time to remind myself what's going on, because I know if I work on something today and I come back in it 6 months, I'm going to have no idea. So in some ways, I'm the new designer who comes back in 6 months, because I forgot, right? So definitely, I'm a big fan of adding comments. It's worth doing. Okay, we don't care about the exercise. Okay, so let's talk about colors. Now it used to be, let me bring up Photoshop real quick. Okay, here's a scary thought for you guys. In Photoshop, if I click this thing that says only web colors, what it's going to do is it's going to limit this palette to 216 colors, right? But back when I started web design, these were the only colors we could use. The web design palette was limited to 216 colors because those were the only colors that we could be sure that every single computer could display, right? Nowadays, of course, most computers can display millions of colors, which means you have the whole gamut of everything to choose from, right? Now, it used to also be that in HTML code, you could only write the names of colors as hexadecimal numbers. Like, for example, when I choose this color red, here's the hexadecimal version number of that color. And I can only put that in the code to get it to work. But nowadays, we have the sky's the limit, right? You can use virtually any color you want, and they've even hard-coded in a bunch of colors that have cool names, like Dodger Blue, right? So, if you go in here and you can see right here, Dodger Blue and Tomato, and those colors are just coming up, right? But you can also just use regular colors too. Just use the color names. So example, you can say purple, right? And green, okay? You can also still use hexadecimal numbers like, right, that's a gray color. So nowadays, the sky's the limit. You can use all the hexadecimal numbers. You can use all of the basic colors like red, green, yellow, blue, purple, and you can use these specialty colors that they designed like Dodger Blue and Tomato, right? And there's a whole bunch of these. I think maybe it gets into them a few pages down.
it says 140 standard color names.
What's that?
It says underneath, it says 140 standard color names.
Oh yeah, there you go. Thank you. Let's open that up. I love this because I just think it's fantastic that you have all these options available to you right now. So, obviously they're showing both the hexadecimal and the name in case you want to just call it by its name. Khaki, some of these are pretty funny too, some of the names. Uh, let's see. Yeah, really, it's beautiful. I mean, 147 different choices. So you guys have a lot of options available to you as far as colors go. Now, the background color is simple. You know, you just use, you know, what this is. This is something called inline style. Now, there's three places that you can do CSS. I'm just going to type it right here because it's easy, right? Okay. Three places you can put CSS styles in a web page. Okay, do you guys know what the three places are?
For what?
For putting us, where are the three places you can put CSS code to affect elements on your web page?
Oh,
Um,
in the style sheet. Yeah.
Yes, the
you
number
could
one
put it.
is the CSS style sheet.
You
What's
could put it right above the HTML as well.
right, exactly. So the other is in the head section of the web page. And then the third one is inline style. Okay, now this right here is an example of inline style. Inline style literally means it's inside the lines of the HTML code, right? In the head section would mean like if we had a thing up here that said head and then end head, you could put in a tag here called style and then one called end style. And then you could do something like, you know, what would I want to say, like dot background color, and then you could say, uh, let's see, what do I want to say, background red. Okay, so in other words, you can have a style up here inside the head part of your document, and that style will only affect elements on this page because you put it at the top of this page, so it's only going to affect things on the page. If you put your CSS style on a CSS style sheet, it will affect the entire website, right? And if you put it in line, which is this right here, it will only affect what it is directly attached to, right? So one way to think about it is this is the smallest and most granular there that you can get in line right next to the code. The next level up is in the head section of the web page. And the next level up is on the CSS style sheet. Now, my question for you is in well-formed web design code, where is the best place to put your CSS style?
Um, can you say that again?
Of the three choices that you have, where is it recommended? Where is the best place that's recommended to put your style?
Oh, in a style sheet.
Why?
Because you can have it completely separate from your code and it'll keep everything clean.
Right, exactly. That's the correct answer. So you're supposed to put everything on your style sheet because it keeps everything clean and it's easy to update, right? Imagine if instead of putting your style on the style sheet, you put it on every single page of the website. Well, what if you decided you wanted to make a global change to the website? You'd have to go into every single page and change it, right? Or even worse, what if you put it next to every single paragraph on every page in the website? Then you'd have to go in there and change it, right? So the preferred way of doing styles is to put it on a global style sheet. Now, that does not mean that you cannot use inline style. It just means it's not recommended. But sometimes you have to use it because it's just, you know, the way to get things done, right? Okay. So let's go back here. Let's see. So, okay. One of the things that's a little confusing about HTML is that they've decided to use the word color to refer to text color. Now, most of us would think when you're putting color in there, you're referring to something like the background color. It's not true. the background color actually uses the word background or background dash color to set the background color. Notice that the background color for these two is set by a style called background dash color, whereas when we get down here to text color, the actual color of the text is set by a code called color. So this is one of the things that you have to wrap your head around. HTML does things a little differently than you might think. So if you want to change the color of something, you have to put in a style called color. You have to put in whatever you want to change it to, and then it changes, right? Okay, and that's just something you'll get used to from doing it over and over again. Now, you can put borders around content, and you can change the color of those borders. As you can see, there's borders around here, right? 3 different borders and 3 different colors. Now, what's interesting about borders is every border has 3 different attributes that you can affect. The width of the border, the style of the border, and the color of the border. Okay, so let's change all this. So we're going to make the first one have a 3 pixel width, the second one have a 2 pixel width, the third one have a 1 pixel width. This one, we're going to change it to a dashed line. This one we'll use solid on those 2, and then we'll just, we'll change all the colors around just for fun. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, so see how this has a dashed line and it's thicker, right? This has a green line and it's thinner, and this is even thinner still, right? Now, you notice how this border is directly almost touching the text, right? If you wanted a little space around there, do you know what CSS element you would use? To put space on the inside of an area.
Margin or padding.
It would be padding. So the way to think of it, imagine that you have a box. Like, imagine you're going to ship some vases to your cousin, right? And you put these vases in a box. If you want there to be some kind of material in there to protect the vases, you put padding in the box, right? You put it around the inside of the box, and it protects what's inside there, right? So that's how you remember padding. Now, if you close the box up and it's too close to another box and you want to move it away from that box, that's margin. Whenever you have a box that's moving away from another box in a physical space, that's margin. When you're adding padding inside the box to protect or expand or shrink the amount of space between the content and the outside of the box, that's padding. So if we wanted to change the padding in here, we would simply say padding. We would put a colon, and we would put in, how much padding we wanted to put in. So notice that I put in this thing called 1 EM. 1 EM, EMs are a unit of measurement. And the nice thing about EMs is that they work across all different devices. See, because I could have put something in here like 5 pixels, right? But 5 pixels is read differently by a phone and by a web browser. So if I put that in M's, like I'll put in like 2.25 M, that unit of measurement is going to be consistent across different devices. Okay? So this is how you would add padding. Now, if I wanted to add margin, if I wanted to move this box away from the box below it, I could say something like margin dash bottom and put in something like, 1 EM, and then hit run and see how it pushes that down, right? So once again, padding is the inside of the box and margin is outside. Okay. All right. So, okay, let's talk about this one last thing, and then I'll let you guys go. So in addition to be able to defining colors by the color names and the hexadecimal numbers assigned to them, you can also declare a color by RGB, right? Red, green, blue values, as you see right here. And you can also define it by something called HSL, which stands for hue, saturation, and lightness, right? So, you know, this one we understand, this is the hexadecimal. That's just a code that you get and put in. Red, green, blue, this is just like in Photoshop. This is the amount of red, this is the amount of green, this is the amount of blue on a scale between 0 and 256, right? And then HSL, hue, saturation, and lightness, is all, you know, you notice that these two are percentages here, right? So these are just three very different color systems, and the only reason you would use them is if, you know, if there was some compelling reason to do it. Like if the person who coded the site already was using RGB, you might continue that trend, or you might continue this trend. Now, there's a second reason to use RGB or HSLA, and what that is what's called transparency or alpha channels, right? Notice we've got RGB here, but here we've got something called RGBA. And that A always stands for an alpha channel, which means transparency. And you'll notice that the last number here, 0.5, that represents 50% transparency, right? So let's try it ourselves here. This background color right here is being displayed by this. And that is this code right here, right? And watch, if we want to make that box even more transparent, we can change this to 0.25 and hit run, and it becomes even more transparent. If we want it to become less transparent, we can put in 0.75 and it becomes less transparent or more opaque, right? So that is super handy, right? When you think about it, you know, I like to use RGBA because I don't remember what HSLA means all the time, but red, green, blue sticks in my head, right? So if you ever need a color to be semi-transparent, you can just use this color system here. Photoshop will give you the first three numbers, and then you can choose the fourth, right? For example, let's say I go into Photoshop. Let's say we're doing the Valley Christian site, and Bernadette is looking around, and she finds a brown color. It's like, yes, that's the brown color, right? So notice your H, S, and L are right here, your hue, saturation, and lightness, right? Or I should say HSB, hue, saturation, brightness. I think you would use those three colors. But also, your RGB is right here. 143, 105, 63. Let's see if I can remember those. 143, 105, 63. 143, 105, 63. 145, I already forgot it.
143, no?
Okay, let's try again. Let's see. 145, I don't even remember what they were. Let's look them up. 143, 105, 63. 143, 105, 63. 143, 105, 63, and then run. Okay, see how that's that brown at 50%. But if I leave this as like 1, which means fully opaque, then that's the exact brown color, right? So, you know, if you think you might want to tweak colors and make them more transparent, you can use RGB and you can just leave this number as 1, and then if you ever want to come back, just change it to be more transparent. Okay, I think we're going to stop there. So I'll make a note about what page we stopped on, and we can talk about some more stuff next week. So let me see. Let me go to pima.minco.com. Okay, pima.minco.com. All right, so okay, so what I did was I gave you 5 more pages to read from this page to this page, and if you've looked at that already, if you looked at it early in the semester and we didn't get a chance to talk about it, you can just review it before we talk about it next week. Eventually, we'll get caught up to where we're doing newer stuff. But I just want to make sure that you guys had something to read and think about. So look at that. We'll go over that next week. And then please continue to work on your websites. You're all doing a good job. Alex, I'll get you that new site.
Actually,
Yeah.
I managed to reset it and it's all good.
Oh, perfect. That's wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you guys see how much you can get done. Write down a list of questions if you want. And then next week we'll get together again. We'll look at how far you've progressed and answer any questions you have. Sound good?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, guys, have a good week.
You too.
You too. Bye.
Bye.